Very pleased to be joined by a Pennsylvania legend, Jack Ham, of course, great linebacker here at Penn State and with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now the radio analyst for the Nittany Lions. Jack, really appreciate you joining me. Let's talk about last year first. I mean, what a great year. What did it mean to Penn State to have that kind of a season after everything this program's been through?
I think it was huge, and I think it was probably a little bit earlier than I thought it was going to happen for this football team, because the game that really turned it around for them was really the Minnesota game. They're 2-2. They're struggling, throughout the first couple of games, and they put together, a game where they didn't play all that well. They end up pulling it out in overtime. Barkley makes a big run. And that kind of jump-started this football team where they really started to gain some confidence.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting. I mean, the margin between winning and losing is so narrow. And you talk about the Minnesota game. I would cite the Indiana game as well as games where they just kind of figured out a way, right? You don't necessarily play your best, but you figure out a way to win. And then kind of the ball got rolling there. So now heading into this year, how's the attitude around this team feel different from where it was, say, a year ago?
Well, I think number one for this team, and talking to Jason Kabinda or Barkley here this afternoon, and last year was last year. And, there's nothing you're going to win a football game this year off your reputation from last year. So they all get that. And those are the leaders on this football team. And I think they realize every game, from Akron all the way down to Maryland, no one's going to look past Penn State anymore. They're going to have to win this again. It's going to be a big challenge for them and try to win back the Big Ten championship. And I think they're up to it.
When you come out and watch this team as a football guy, what do you watch?
Well, I just go to the linebackers, number one. I'm always over there. But now, with Farmer out there at the outside linebacker, with Manny Bowen on the other side, Kabinda, who's a little bit lighter right now, he's probably about 230. They all play the passing game very well. This game in college football has changed so much that you better be able to play in the passing game as a linebacker, or you end up being a liability out there and you take you out and bring in a defensive back. So all those guys, I think they do a great job against the passing game. I start there and then I go to the defensive line.
All right, well, I think those are two interesting spots here. Let's talk about defensive end. What have you seen there?
Well, I think a number of guys who they rotated in there last year. We had 7 or 8 guys, and that's probably an area right now. I'm going to have to wait and see. So I'm going to see a couple of practices. I think the scrimmage on Saturday will show a lot as well. But they're going to rotate about 8 or 9 guys in there right now. They got Brown out there on the outside. Guys who had a lot of playing time will get more playing time now this year. But I'm going to have to wait and see on a couple of the younger guys. A couple of freshmen out there I think are going to look pretty good as well, who may be factors.
Farmer's interesting to me, too, transitioning position as a linebacker yourself, and a great one. What have you seen from him?
I think he's got that's the kind of position right now in college football, half defensive back, half linebacker. I think he holds up well against the run. He's 230 pounds. He ran 4.4. I mean, we got guys out there who can really run. And see, he loves the passing game. Like coming from the defensive back safety position, he loves playing the passing game. And he said, watch me. I was just talking to him earlier today. He goes, watch me in the passing game. I really have a good feel for this, whatever. Very confident young man. He's got all the athletic ability in the world. I look for him to have a big year for them.
Jack Ham, really appreciate your time. Thanks a lot. We'll let you get back to watching practice.
All right, my pleasure.